What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fig Heel YouTube channel, and today we have a special episode of Fig 5, my top 5 favorite versions of a specific wrestling superstar or wrestling personality. And today we are looking at one of the most important personalities, figures in wrestling history, and that is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. We're going to take a look at my top 5 favorite Mr. McMahon figures, and he's had a lot in a lot of different lines. Some of them you may agree with, some of them you may not, and that is okay. I encourage you to give me your top 5 Mr. McMahon figures down below in the comments. There's really no need to say, oh, your list sucks, it's missing this. It's because this is my opinion. These are the figures that I like. These are the figures that my eyes latch onto and really prefer. And we're gonna start off with one that might be a little controversial to some, but I really like it. Number 5 is his Bendum figure. Now hear me out on this. First of all, I'm a big fan of the Bendums. I'm a big fan of bendable action figures. I think it's a really cool concept. But I think that even though it's a Bendum, in the entire line, I think that this body mold really captures the likeness of Vince McMahon. I think the way he's standing, it looks like he's getting ready to do that cocky walk where he flails the arms. I think they nailed the suit of how it's like a little bit almost looks oversized because of how large his arms are and how big of a man he is. Now, is the head great? No, but it's Bendum's. None of them were. He's got the blue and the gray, which he wore a lot at the time. And I always love the Vince McMahon autograph on the back. It's got the Bendums embossed. But yeah, very simple, but very effective and very necessary in the line. We have Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon, whatever you want to call him, in the Bendums line by Just Toys. Always loved this figure, and it was one that I didn't think we were going to get, but it's so necessary. Moving right along, over here, number 4, we have one that I had a little bit of trouble with. I couldn't decide between this or the Titantron Live figure that came with the Titantron Live stage. However, I landed on this one because I do think that at the time, this figure was so necessary. I love that he's got the mic arm. He's got the Raw as War WWF jacket, which he wore a lot. I do think he's got the turtleneck. The likeness is okay. But I think that this is a figure that when it came out, everybody was like, oh my God, we got Vince, because he really was on TV a lot at the time. You needed him for Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I don't think we ever needed a Vince McMahon figure as bad as we needed this one. So when it came, I mean, everybody got it. It was almost as necessary as the referee, if not more, because Vince was so pivotal on television at the time. You needed this Vince McMahon. Now, was it very playable? No. You could only lift his arms, turn his head, but it was perfect for this guy to give him a stunner. Very cool figure. I think they nailed his hair, to be honest with you. They nailed his outfit. The only thing they didn't really nail is his head. It doesn't really look like him, his face, but I could look past that because look at the rest of the BCAs. Now, this was part of Ringside Collection Series 1 from Jakks Pacific. It was also re-released in Ringside Collection Series 2, but it was like the exact same figure. But yeah, so I was between this and the Titantron Live figure back there in the gray suit. However, I really landed on this one. Like I said, I played with this figure so much as a kid. The Titantron Live one, I didn't, but it was just a huge deal because we got the Titantron, so everybody wanted that, It's very memorable, the gray suit Titantron Live, but this, I mean, come on. This was the Vince McMahon figure for a long time that everybody played with, because him and Stone Cold were at each other's throats all the time. Then they gave us This one in the breakaway suit, which is like so silly. I mean, he looks huge in the suit, but let's be honest, he wore huge suits like I said before. It just was a little bit too big. And the screaming head, we got him in the WWF tank. But again, this one did everything that we needed it to. So number 4, Ringside Collection Series 1, Vince McMahon. And number 3, a newer figure, WWE Mattel Elite Series 70, Mr. McMahon. I wish it said Vince McMahon because at the time that this whole figure is depicted off of, he was Vince McMahon. He wasn't Mr. McMahon. He wasn't really known as the owner of the company. I love the suit. I love the old style WWF logo, even though it doesn't have the F. I love that, so I'm a sucker for anything with that. I think the colors of the suit, they nailed. Listen, Jakks Classic Superstar was pretty good too, but the face doesn't look anything like Vince. At least this, we're on the right track. Do I think it looks identical to Vince? Not exactly, but they're very, very, very close. Very, very close, you know? Not many figures have nailed that likeness. There he is. It says career highlights, chairman and CEO of WWE. He's a WWE champion, ECW champion. With timeless calls like What a Maneuver, Mr. McMahon was the voice of WWE for a generation in the 80s and 90s. I mean, he comes with a stage, interchangeable hands, the WWF microphone. How could this not be on the list? And I think number 3 is the perfect place for it. WWE Mattel Elite Series 70, Mr. McMahon. Next up, from Jakks Pacific, we have his Ruthless Aggression figure. Now, hear me out. A lot of people complained about the size of these suited figures in the Ruthless Aggression era. You can't complain about this one. Dude was jacked. He was pretty tall, you know. He's the only one whose arms in a suit really, it's not debatable. He did have huge arms. You know, the gray suits, which is what, you know, Vince is known for. But look at that head scan. There is no denying that that's Vince McMahon. This is one of my favorite Vince McMahon head scans ever. They nailed the hair, they nailed the face, the wrinkles, the dimples, everything. And I think the paint applications are perfect. It's even got that schnaz. I mean, the hair, that coif, like, this is an excellent, excellent depiction of Vince McMahon. Honestly, I was debating on this being my number 1. I was really debating, but something else won, which we'll talk about in a second why. But I do think that this is an excellent figure of Vince and very deserving of a high spot on anybody's top 5 Vince figures. I mean, I don't see how you could deny it. If you're looking for a suited Vince figure, I really do think that this is the one. This is the one. I think it looks great. You know, very, very cool that he was included in the Ruthless Aggression line. They really tried giving us everybody, and there's a lot that they gave us where they only nailed the head. But I think that this Vince figure, they nailed the body too, and really is a pretty definitive Vince McMahon suited figure, if you ask me. Now, last but not least, my number 1. Got to move some figures out of the way. I think you're figuring it out. My number 1, and it's probably a controversial one, is the Network Spotlight Mr. McMahon with the WWF Championship and his sweatshirt. Here's why. I loved this time in wrestling. All right, let's read about it. 6'2", 248 pounds, the McMahon Stunner from Greenwich, Connecticut, relived the moment when Mr. McMahon caused an upset by defeating Steve Austin to win the 1999 Royal Rumble. Rewatch this match on the Best of Network on WWE Collection's Best of Stone Cold versus Mr. McMahon. I mean, look at that picture. Dude was jacked. He was ready. I love this head scan, even though it's not the best Vince head scan, but there's something about it that just has some charm. That cocky smile. It's like, I want Austin. That's what it tells me right there. He's got the wrapped hands. The sweatshirt is such a nice touch because on the figure it looks great, but underneath they take it off in the package to show you how jacked Vince is on the actual figure, because let's face it, dude was jacked. And he comes with the WWF Championship. As a Steve Austin fan, I was heartbroken when Mr. McMahon won. However, as a wrestling fan, I loved all the vignettes. I loved everything about it leading up to it, and I loved the story behind everything. It really leaves not much more to savor, not much more to want, because they really gave everything. They left everything out there. So the reason this is my number one is because of the meaning behind it. I love that this is when he won the title. I love that he comes with the sweatshirt. I think about the vignettes with Shane. I think about all the promos leading up to it. It's like, no way that he's gonna, he's really trying to screw Steve, but no way Steve's gonna let him get screwed. Like, such a great time. Great time in wrestling. And I love the packaging on the Network Spotlight figures, the black and the red. I miss this line so much. Toys R Us exclusive, Network Spotlight, Mr. McMahon, my number one. So, we are going to take a quick recap on everything. Number 5 is the Just Toys Bendum Mr. McMahon figure. Awesome in the gray suit with the blue shirt. Number 4, we have the Jakks Pacific BCA Ringside Collections Series 1 Vince McMahon. Number 3, we have the WWE Mattel Elite Series 70 Mr. McMahon in the blue blazer, not to be mistaken with Owen Hart. Love this figure. Love the pictures that they included for Vince. I think it looks really cool. Obviously, they're from 2 different time periods, though. But we get the picture. We get the picture. And a quick little Easter egg. I also have the Vince McMahon microphone from Jakks Pacific, which is really cool that they actually did that. That was number 3. Number 2 is the Ruthless Aggression Jakks Pacific Mr. McMahon figure. Look at that head scan. And number 1 is the Toys R Us exclusive Mattel Elite Network Spotlight when he won the WWF Championship. Hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FigHeal. Pick up the Ultimate Wrestling Figure Checklist, available now on Amazon.com. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeal for all your merchandise needs. Keep coming back for more. We got a lot of cool videos on the way. Have a good one, guys. Don't forget to comment your top 5 Vince McMahon figures below. Later, guys. Peace. Are you a wrestling figure collector of WWE Mattel, AEW Jazzwares, and everything in between? Then you need FigHeal's Ultimate Wrestling Figure Checklist, a 500-plus page guide to over 40-plus years of wrestling figure collecting. As heard on the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, it features WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, TNA, NJPW, AEW, Ring of Honor, AWA, Dragon Gate, CMLL, AJPW, AAA, and more. Professionally organized so you can keep track of mock, loose, value, and much more. FigHeal's Ultimate Wrestling Figure Checklist, available now on Amazon.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FigHeal. Check out my book series on Amazon and my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com/FigHeal. Head over to Heroes Hideout for all your figure needs and use code FigHeal at checkout to save 10%.